DCC, hole in the sky. Okay, so we're going to go through the CATS procedure. So the concept of DCC is that it was introduced by Joseph Goodman. It explores the old school Renaissance, but from a particular angle, which is Appendix N, which focuses on the original fantasy fiction, where the main protagonists, I suppose, were predominantly out of their depth, with creatures, monsters, patrons beyond their own comprehension, and they kind of shamble from one misadventure to another. Classic examples are Jack Vance, Fritz Lieber, those kind of things. A lot of the modules are based on one of these Appendix N books, so there's like a Conan nod, there's a load of Lankmar ones that are coming out. So also the funnel is, the idea is it's a kind of perverse character creation method where you start with 4 characters who are basically peasants with very basic equipment. They go through an adventure where they're kind of whittled down to normally one or two. I've never had a TPK, so I could be angling for that this time. Get my badge, TPK badge. So yeah, so you're kind of out of your depth but trying to survive. So it is a little bit railsy, but you know, it's kind of fun as well. So the aim is kind of covered in that, is to survive for you guys, for me to try and balance my own entertainment, sadistic entertainment, with your enjoyment. So tone is generally fairly light-hearted. The term gonzo is used for DCC quite a bit, which is kind of goes a bit silly, goes a bit crazy. I tend to not go completely that way, but I want us to have fun, have a laugh, and generally just have a kind of classic fantasy gaming experience. Obviously, in the game, there's kind of a fair bit of monsters and violence and stuff, so be expecting that, but nothing too gruesome, maybe a bit gruesome. But obviously, if you have any problems with that, then there's an X card on the roll for your party, and we can kind of manage it from there. So that's it. So from there, we're ready to start, unless anyone's got any questions. No. Would everyone like to just quickly give their names for their 4 characters and their occupation? Noah?
Yeah, so I have Angus, who is a herder. I've got Benny, who is a halfling dyer. Campbell is a merchant, and Dale is an ostler.
Okay.
Which I believe means he runs the stable at an inn or something.
That's correct, yeah.
I had to look that up
myself. I was like, it's got a bridle, so it's got something to do with horses. So,
yeah.
So yeah. So yeah. All right, Ian.
All right. I've got Prune, the blacksmith. Vaughn, a woodcutter.
All caps.
Yeah. Nerd, the elven sage.
Yeah.
And Held, the glove maker.
Lovely. We've got a couple of glove makers actually, but I suspect one of them, yours, is probably the best of the 2. Flo.
So I got Bernard. He's an halfling haberdasher.
Lovely.
I got Foxfire, an elven forester. Myron, an astrologer, and Mold, a gong farmer.
Cool. And we know what a gong farmer is. A gong farmer is a famous profession of DCC.
So I've got Sydney, the guild beggar.
Lovely.
Julian, the halfling glove maker.
Yeah, with an amazing agility for glove making.
Carly, the woodcutter.
Yeah.
And Gerard, the shaman.
Yeah. Yeah. Carly's got quite an interesting, he knows Lizard Man, so I probably might be asking you about that later. Right, so you have all arrived. Our story begins on the edge of a cliff, a windswept cliff. You have all felt like your hand of destiny has been a bum hand, that your life was destined to be something other than it is, digging poo, making bad gloves, and so forth. Over the years, you start to have reoccurring dreams about a woman with a shrouded face dressed in blue. She, over further years, eventually she starts beckoning to you in the dreams, asking you to become her ally, that your enemies will become her enemies, and together we should take back the life promised to you by the stars. Meet me at the cliff. So the repetition and the recurring calls of these dreams finally make you give up your life, leave your family and friends and whatever you have behind you, and travel to here where you stand right now at this cliff. You arrive all weirdly at the same time. I guess some of you have met on the way, and there, standing on the edge of the cliff, is the woman in blue that you've all dreamt of. She turns around, her face made of a worn stone. It's still. She holds up 3 severed heads in one hand and 2 severed heads in the other, and she begins to talk, but not through her mouth, through the mouths of the severed heads. She says, I gather you must have many questions, but you must wait, refresh yourselves, and rest a while. And as you sort of turn round, there's a huge banqueting table filled with food of all kinds, and she ushers you to eat and enjoy the fare. What do you do?
Eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bernard and Mold begin stuffing. Yeah.
If everyone else is eating, we're eating too.
Okay. So one thing you do observe on the table, every few dishes around, you notice that they're kind of molded or festering or a bit off. Berries with kind of mildew mold on them and stuff. Just to let you know.
We'll avoid those.
Okay. Okay. You all eat extremely well. And eventually, once you're filled, the woman in blue kind of reappears, becomes in your presence again. She thanks you all for making such a perilous journey thus far, and that she apologizes, but she must keep her identity veiled. But you may refer to her as the Lady in Blue. But know this: our enemies are the enemies for both of us, and she believes that each of you were born under the wrong stars, a misfortune fostered upon you by our mutual enemy, she refers to. But I wish to be your ally, and I can set this misfortune right, she says. But in order to do so, you must help me. You must rescue my own other ally from beyond the sky. You must travel at midnight this night across an invisible bridge beyond this cliff, and she points out to like nothingness. You must take this leap of faith, save my friend, and together we can restore the balance to the universe.
Nerd, the elven sage, when she talks about birth signs and stars, he kind of perks up because he has a negative luck, and it's on find secret doors, which counteracts his elven ability to find secret doors. So he should have been born with these innate abilities, but he feels like that was robbed from him. Yeah. So he's kind of transfixed on this promise that she made to right things, and is fairly gung-ho.
Yeah. Well, the heads kind of look around because they're like, but they kind of sort of fix on anyone that kind of is showing interest. She says, I would ask you to take this bridge tonight under the full moon and free our ally. And once you've done this, I shall set the stars right with this. And she gestures across the sky, and there's like a tearing rip in the fabric of reality, basically. And a storm blows. All the food on the table just blows out across the sea. And beyond, in the tear, there's like the stars of the universe, and there's this huge wheel. And she says, this is the wheel of destiny. For the brave few who aid in the rescue of my ally, they shall be able to spin it one more time and restore their own destinies. And then she waves a hand, and the tear seals up again. And then she sort of stands there for a moment, sort of trying to gauge. Well, you can't really see what she's expression because she's got just this stony face, but the heads kind of are all looking around, just seeing how everyone's sort of feeling about that proposal.
I think Sydney and Carly, you know, the beggar and the woodcutter, are both looking pretty keen. The other two are kind of hesitant.
Okay, cool. She says the bridge will materialize at midnight. It is 3 days' walk across the bridge, a perilous walk, and there you will meet the hole in the sky. Beyond is yours and my destiny. And then there's like another storm, and like her veil just floats off into the sea, and she's completely gone. So it's getting quite dark. You've probably got a couple of hours before midnight at this stage. There is a small village down the road for anyone that's interested, or you can just bide your time, make camp.
I think Sydney stuffs a few of the food bits of food from the table that haven't been eaten yet into her, like satchel.
Yeah, well, most of it got blown away, but there's probably a few bits and bobs strewn across the grass just towards the edge of the cliff. You can jot down a couple of bits of food there. Mm-hmm. So I've got a couple of questions for you. My first one is Rob, one of your characters has taken an instant feeling of trust to one of Flo's characters. Who is it?
You have to pick who and which of Flo's characters as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I think maybe the shaman is where's the names? Gerard the shaman has taken a liking to Miron. They're both in their own way scholars.
Mm-hmm.
So exchanges, philosophical discussion.
Nice. And Flo, one of your characters has taken an instant dislike or distrust to one of Ian's characters. Who is it? Who and who?
It's Bernard, and he dislikes Held because Held is from a family which the Oak Bottoms are customarily enemies with. Like they their fathers once shared a patch of field, and this other family, they tried to steal some cabbage of our shared cabbage field, and the oak bottoms won't forget that.
Is that mutual, Ian, with Held? Does Held feel the same way about Bernard?
Oh yeah, I mean, the real issue is that the Oak Bottoms, they know that their land's on the other side of the river, and so being that this is the east side of the river, obviously they're incorrect. We both know that, but I'll play along that there might be some type of feud, but I know who's correct.
Okay, and Noah, you distrust somebody in Rob's group. Who is it?
Let's see. Okay, Benny, the halfling, he is very much a curmudgeon, and he is very distrustful of anyone who does anything related to magic or superstitious stuff. And so, so finding out that Gerard is a shaman, just immediately he wants nothing to do with him.
Okay. Nice. And Ian, I'm just trying to work out who you got. Ian, you like one of your characters likes or trusts one of Noah's characters. Who is it? You're on mute. Sorry.
Thank you. Prune the blacksmith. He and that was whose characters again? I picked one and then
Noah.
That was he likes Campbell Gilder, the merchant. He crafted some horseshoes and things like that, and sold them through Campbell. So they've made money together before.
Okay, cool. All right, so there's probably a makeshift fire that's been made. There's some friendly conversation. There's some scowling in the shadows, and eventually the moon rises in the sky. And you think it's probably about full moon. What are you guys going to do?
Well, I suppose we go look for the bridge that she was talking about.
Okay. Well, she sort of indicated it was kind of right there, right? So there's a cliff. There's a long drop to some rocks and sea.
I think maybe Sydney's gonna test the air.
Okay, how's Sydney going to go about doing that?
If it's got a walking, like a stick that she walks with.
Yeah.
So she may be like.
Okay, yeah. So you tap it out, and the first tap just kind of wafts in air, and then the third tap it kind of goes clonk 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 on something sort of solid.
All right. I'll try stepping out onto that solid.
Okay, great. What's everyone else doing? Are they just sort of standing and watching Sydney potentially plummet to her death?
Exactly.
Okay. So you sort of look back, Sydney, and see like this gawking crowd of what is it, 15 other people waiting to see what happens. but you step out onto the solid surface, and you guys all see Sydney looking surprised, I guess, at the fact that she sort of appears to be sort of hovering in midair.
Vaughn the woodcutter, he'll clap and give a little cheer for that person's bravery.
She gives you a gap-toothed grin.
And Myron also steps out, and he takes out his pole, and he searches for the right-hand edge of this bridge.
Okay, yeah. So from where Sydney is, it goes, a good 5 to 10 feet away to one side, and probably another 5 to 10 feet the other side. It's a good 15, 20 feet in width. If you I'm imagining you're sort of just trying to map it out. Yeah. As you're sort of tapping, you feel it actually feels like cobbles, and Sydney can feel the familiar feel of cobbles under feet, I'd imagine. It's like a cobbled bridge, I guess.
Angus will go, if Sydney's on one side, he will venture onto it and try to find the other side with his staff.
Yeah.
So that they can mark it out, and he'll hold his staff right at the edge, just to show people where it is, as he expects people are going to come back behind him.
Okay.
Yeah, Sydney will do the same, sort of dragging her stick along the outer edge of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, so you've marked out the width. So you guys have. So a couple of you are on one side, and one of you's on the other.
So Myron will go into the middle and tap in front of him. Maybe there's a hole in the middle of the road, the bridge. So maybe he will find that. So we have everything's covered.
Yeah. Venturing wisdom being played out right here. So you tap, and you keep walking and walking. You walk, and then eventually at about 50 feet, you're quite a way away. It just stops.
Right. Can Myron tries to feel for a invisible wall or something?
No.
Just down. The bridge just ends and it goes down.
Yeah, then it goes down. So you can put your hand down, and you can put your hand underneath. It's like 2 feet thick, and you can see your hand underneath. What's everyone else doing while you sort of watching Myron just disappear, and he's kind of a way away, and then he kind of stops and looks puzzled, and he's kind of waggling his arms around. He's sort of lying on the floor, waggling his arms around.
Nerd, when we were listening to the Blue Lady, remembers there was something about a leap of faith almost, and he's going to take that literally.
Who's this?
So, Nerd, the Elven Sage.
Right.
And so, I'll make my way to the edge where he's tapping, and kind of use the end of my toe to find the end. And I'll raise my hands and kind of say, Blue Lady, I'm your servant now, and I'm going to take a step to the edge, over the edge.
Okay. Nerd plummets 120 feet into the sea. And he's never seen again.
Very good.
All that can be seen is a little dot of him splash into the water, and then the waves just slosh around him. First casualty.
So
very, very, very good speech. So how many of you are on the bridge now at this point?
I think my other people will follow up to the end of the bridge. So mold and burn it in foxfire.
Okay.
And iron.
I think Carly would hang back some ways to see how this plays out.
Okay, so are you all on the bridge at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, although Benny has taken one step onto it.
Mm-hmm.
But Angus is on the side. He also has a small herding dog that he is petting while he is holding his staff along the left side and lamenting the loss of the elf. And then my other two are cautiously staying in the middle.
Okay, but so one of you, Benny's is the last one to set foot off.
Yeah, Benny thinks his whole thing is crazy. However, Benny's life has been really hard, and the idea of his giving the short end of the destiny stick really rings with him. So he would love to take his chances, despite the fact that he's very skeptical about what's going on.
Okay. So so as you put your foot like this, you feel it sort of sliding away like this.
So it seems like it's moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he'll go forward and stay on the bridge.
Okay.
As it leaves the ground, and if anyone else is held back, he'll motion to them to get on.
Okay. I think everyone's sort of on, and everyone sort of sees you sort of do this, and then because you responded fairly quickly, then I guess you just sort of skip on and kind of do a bit of that.
Yeah, we're committed now.
Okay, so you're all floating in the middle of the air, basically. The wind whips around you. The sea smashes against the cliff face, reminding you of the tragedy of Nerd. He didn't even get to take his stuff before he fell off. So the guys at the front, who's the brave and the bold at the front?
I'd say Myron, still Myron.
Okay, so Myron, as you're sort of feeling over the edge, I guess, as Benny takes his foot, he takes his last step onto the bridge, you feel the bridge move forward about 2 feet, like your arm sort of just gets moved like that, and then it stops.
I got my arm back.
So basically you're sort of feeling. Let's say you're feeling around the thing, just to sort of aid the issue. And as Benny takes his foot, you feel the bridge sort of pushes out to underneath your arm, and it's solid once more.
So, well, the blue lady said something about 3 days, so I don't know. Maybe let's just sit down and wait for maybe in 3 days we will reach another part of the land. Occasionally I will push my pole ahead and feel for something, but otherwise I would just sit there and enjoy the view.
Okay, so so what happens is over time you sort of sit there and the group sort of start walking to the front, kind of trying to work out what's going on, and as the people at the back move forward, the bridge kind of gets longer in front of you.
I see.
So it takes you a fair bit of time. Over time, you work out that as people move, the back people move forward, you check it and you follow it along. You coordinate this effort.
Right. It's not that it's moving; it's forming in front of us and disintegrating behind us.
Yeah.
And if someone gets too far ahead, someone in the back could be dropped off.
So if everybody would have gone already forward, the Nerd wouldn't have died. Sad thing.
Yeah.
That's very sad.
Well, I would think he would have taken a running jump, frankly.
Yeah. So yeah, basically it moves forwards. I mean, if you want to sort of spend time trying to play with it, then it moves forwards. If you all go back, it doesn't go back. So you basically have to coordinate your group movement along this 60-foot by 20-foot invisible cobbled bridge, basically. So I guess you kind of head forth, right? You tracking this bridge out into the sort of stormy night. Moon glows down upon you.
Yeah, I think we probably have a couple of people with staves, just tapping it out in front of us to be sure as we walk.
Yeah.
Angus will be one of those.
Okay, so you keep walking. And eventually dawn breaks and the day starts really nice and sunny. It's cold. And by this time, land is completely out of sight. You're literally in the middle of like an ocean, 120 feet up. That's a guesstimate from the sea. So what are you doing to keep yourself amused in groups?
Halfway, maybe like half an hour in, Myron puts his staff into mold sand and tells him to do this. So to the walking forward and happen by the things, and gets out his spyglass and just enjoys the view of the night sky from this peculiar position, and yeah, that's most of what he is doing.
Okay, yeah, he's looking for astrological insights.
Yeah.
Anyone else doing anything?
Held the halfling glove maker. He has 4 pairs of gloves on him, and he's trying to sell the gloves to the other people on the bridge while you're walking.
Nice.
He figures he's going to spend the time to try to make some money. He's constantly running his mouth about the quality of the gloves, the type of string and leather that's used in the glove, the amount of time that it took, and so on until someone
What's he asking? Campbell's interested.
Let's see.
We could use an extra pair of gloves if we're gonna be wandering through the sky.
How about 5 copper?
For 1 pair?
Yes.
How about 4?
Well, he'll do it, assuming that if you die, he's going to take the money off of your body. Or the other way around.
Okay, that's fine. I have no kin here, so
Or
what
he'll get
happens
the
to me
extra
after I
one.
die?
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, you can do that trade. How does Julian the halfling govmaker feel about?
Well, what quality is his?
Well, if you base it on agility, yours are like giant ham-fisted children's sewing type gloves, and his are not bad.
So I'm sort of scowling and looking pretty jealous of his craftsmanship.
Okay, but you're not going to try and sell any of yours for half price.
And Campbell's got some coins on him, so he's not unwilling. But the standard has been set. A good pair of gloves is 4 copper. So
Nice. Okay.
I don't want any of those 4-finger, 3 fingers and a thumb gloves.
Yeah, they're just mittens.
Yeah, that doesn't do me.
Any other activities going on?
Bernard can't stand for these shenanigans, and he got 3 fine suits in halfling size. So he puts out one of his fine suits and goes over to Julian, and I think maybe we can work something out that we can offer a pair of gloves with a fine suit for a discount price. And I think this will beat out the shabby gloves of Held. Definitely. Who wouldn't go for a suit and gloves?
Well, they're halfling size, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Campbell's not interested there.
No? Oh, no.
No. Being human. Yeah, I don't. He doesn't have any children, so he doesn't need any.
Maybe it's comes with a hat that you might be able to perch on your head. Okay.
If you have any children, you know they'd be great for them.
Campbell doesn't have any children. No.
But think about your future.
If I was thinking about my future, I wouldn't be on this bridge.
Okay, so time passes, but and unfortunately, the beautiful sunny morning gives way to a terrible, terrible storm in the afternoon, and the rain comes in, and followed by the rain comes terrible, terrible wind. The wind becomes stronger and stronger, and at this point, I'm going to have to get you to make a luck check for your characters, please. You do your.
That's D20, right?
Yeah, D20 plus luck. Luck modifier. So I don't know how you want to do this. Do you want to do all your 4 each in turn? So if we do,
I'll do 4 D20s altogether, and
okay, and then from right to left, the scores, right? That's bad. Right, so you can right, so just to let you know, if you fail, you get a reflex save. Don't make that reflex save, then you are off the bridge. So you can it's 10. You've got the marker is 10, so you can also burn luck as well.
Is a tie good or bad?
10, you just need 10. Yeah, so 10 would be fine.
So I will also roll all 4. And yeah. Oh, sorry, it's yours. That's the good Bernard.
So just Bernard then.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 under 10, haven't you, Rob?
Yeah, the first 3 were under 10.
So number 3 being
number 3, it was Sydney, Julian, and Carly.
Man.
So I'm gonna have to roll a reflex save for all of them.
Yeah, let's just get everyone else's situation so we know who's rolling reflex, and then we'll go back along the road to work out.
Prune the blacksmith rolled a 10.
Yep.
Vaughn rolled a 5, and then Held the glove maker, he rolled a 6, but then I burnt 2 luck. Or no, do the halflings get double, or that's thieves?
Halflings don't get double until their first level. So.
Gotcha. Okay, then I'm gonna burn 4 to raise his to a 10. So only Vaughn rolled under.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do mine. 4 D20 in order.
Okay.
Oh, he's the guy I like too. Now, do we add our luck modifier to this?
Yep.
Okay, so that's nobody. Nobody got a 10.
So you can burn luck on the 9 to put it over. You can burn luck on the 7 probably to get
right,
that out as well.
And that just pulls right out of the luck stat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Dale actually has his luck modifier is -1, so I guess he'll burn 2 luck to make it a 10. He's my 4th one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dale will burn 2 and Campbell will burn 3 so that he makes it at his 10. The other guys don't have a shot, so they'll have to reflex save.
Okay. So everyone's got at least one in peril. Rob, you've got Rob. What did you decide to do with yours?
Well, I'm gonna do a reflex save for the other 3.
The other 3. Okay.
Let's
have it then.
Selected. So it's a 20, a 12, and a 15. I don't know why it was a 20, but then it just changed to 12 again. I don't know why.
Okay, so all 3 of them have grabbed onto the side. Let's leave them there for a moment. Right, who's next? There, one.
Bernard. Reroll. 13.
Yeah. Good. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll have to do mine. Okay, so this is 2 first for Angus and the second for Benny. Okay, Angus made it. Benny did not.
Benny did not. Then Benny is off your sheet, I'm afraid. I'll just fill him. Benny's the one that we liked, the cautious one. You see, maybe.
Yeah.
It's that classic movie moment.
He's also about 2'6", so he just. So yeah, he flies away down into the water, and he can't swim.
Okay, let me just. Can you just highlight his header in red so we know that he's.
Yeah.
It was a raging storm in his lucky sign as well, so he's not had much luck with storms throughout his life.
If it wasn't for bad luck, he wouldn't have had any luck at all.
Yeah. And then Ian, you've got 1.
Vaughn, and Vaughn rolled a 16 for the reflex save.
Okay, fine. Okay, so we've lost 1. Okay, and so you basically pull yourself up. So we've lost 2. Yeah, 16. That's fine. And you carry on. So the other thing is that it's really cold and wet, and unless you can somehow make yourself warm, then people with low staminas will be affected by the weather. Are you?
I'm going to try to resell those gloves to see if anyone.
Yeah, so I was thinking that's quite interesting. You brought that up. So anyone who's got warm clothes, the gloves might just tip the balance. You need to have at least 8 stamina. So anyone with lower than 8 stamina is sick, unless they can give me a good argument for why they're not.
Well, Foxfire would like to buy the gloves.
All right.
First of all,
no, not a problem. I'll be happy to sell them.
So it's 4 copper.
Yes, sir.
And also, I think she will take one of Bernard's fine suits, and she's slender. She's bigger than a halfling, but she's very slender. She maybe can get as much of her body inside the cloth as possible.
Like high waters.
Yeah.
Anyone else with particularly low? Dale's got quite low.
Dale, is there another pair of gloves available from the glove seller?
I have 1 more.
Okay, he'll buy that, and then if there's a hat available, he'll buy that too.
Yeah, you can have a hat of one of the suits.
A hat of suit.
Yeah.
Made out of halfling jacket.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. How much you want for that hat?
I'm feeling generous. It's 4 copper.
Okay, done.
Wow, that is generous. You could have charged them anything they liked.
Yeah.
Okay, so you work as a team by trading heavily amongst each other to give each other the edge. Yeah, fortunately, none of you have got terrible stamina, so I think just enough warm clothing to sort of push away the cold and the wet is sufficient. So by the end of midnight, the terrible weather finally abates, and you're able to soldier on through. Are you going to rest or make camp, or are you just going to carry on?
Well, do we have anything to make a camp with, or at least like a tent or some?
I've got a bundle of wood.
Now he says,
I've got flint and steel, so
5 gold. There we go.
I mean, we can make a fire if the wind doesn't put it out.
Yeah, so I think by midnight you can. It settles down again. I can't believe how many of you survived. I was expecting loads more to go on that wind. I'm kind of glad because it's mean. Okay, yeah, you sort of huddle for a few hours and get rest.
Okay. All right, do you want to burn some of that wood? Because I got flint and steel. We could make a small fire. But that's only if you're willing to put your wood up.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right,
Okay.
Remove your bundle of wood then.
And for a rest, do you get any luck back?
No, you don't.
So is our luck modifier changed, or is it we just
Yes, that's a good point. So I'll just let you know. I've brought the good book.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. I should know this stuff. So anyone with 8 or less down to 6 gets a -1 on their modifier.
Okay.
And if it goes 5 or below, it's -2, and then if it's 3, it's -3. And if you go from 13 to 12, it goes from +1 to none. So. You might want to, if you've reduced your luck, you might want to put 15 of what the original amount was, just so we know. Or whatever,
Okay,
X of Y. Okay. Yeah, so nobody's had any damage done to them. Nobody's sick. So, but you are rested. So, you'll be more capable of dealing with whatever lies on the day ahead, I guess. So you've had a reasonable few hours of rest. I mean, it's not massively comfortable. The bundle of wood doesn't last more than a couple of hours, maybe. It is more windy up there anyway. And you soldier on, and after a few hours of walking, maybe 3 or 4 more hours, you observe a shipwreck smashed against some rocks in the sea below, and circling the shipwreck are these large birds, and you hear a kind of screeching cry as they start. 2 of them start inquisitively spiraling higher and higher up towards the bridge as they've sort of spotted these dots of people, and eventually they're sort of circling above, and they are grotesque kind of a mangy, boiled covered birds with sharp teeth and yeah, and they're just pretty gross basically, and they're pretty big as well. Yeah, so they're kind of human-sized, I guess, with wingspans. Two of them are sort of circling around. What do you do? They're out of reach. They're about 20 feet away above you at the moment, screeching.
Well, everyone who has a staff or a dagger or some kind of weapon will have it ready.
I think Sydney has a sling, so she'll just go.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay, that's a attack mod.
Yeah, so ranged attack mod, yeah.
Right. Okay, 2. Reroll selected. Okay, so that's a 19.
19. Okay, that's a hit.
All right.
And your damage is 1d4.
1d4 minus.
Is it? No, hang on. Is it? Hang on. I'm looking at completely the wrong character. 1d4 minus 1.
Yeah. I whole 1 damage. I'm assuming it doesn't, like, if I get a 1 and it's minus 1.
It's 0.
Oh.
Ian, out of interest, I haven't seen your dice appear. Are you in the same room as us, by the way, on the roll for your party? Or are you just doing it on the table?
I just have to, yeah.
Okay. I'll trust you. Okay, yeah. So basically, you spin the sling and it harmlessly strikes the nose of one of these giant birds, and that just serves to enrage it, and down they swoop. Who's got the lowest luck in the party?
So
I got 6.
My lowest is 7. So
yeah, well, Sydney's in for it anyway. So
Held's down to 2.
2 luck. Right, it's held, I'm afraid. So let me just roll for them both. Just trying to, yeah. So first one is Sydney, second one is Held. And I need a colour. I'll go with clear. I'm assuming those are both hits, unless you suddenly found some plate mail somewhere. D3 damage. I think I can do custom ones here. Let me think where they are. 1d3. Did that do anything?
Yeah, I see a Roman numeral 2. Yeah.
Then that's 2 to you, Sydney, and 2 to you, Held.
Okay.
Hold on, Held.
So Sydney had 1 hit point.
Sydney had 1 hit point.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bird swoops in and just grabs you on the shoulder and just plucks your head off, and then swoops back out to sea with your body.
Sydney!
As Sydney's head sort of bounces along the invisible bridge, leaving sort of splashes of blood on a few people's boots.
And Held's still standing.
Does the blood, is it visible on the bridge?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. Then at least we have something we can see it.
Yeah, you just spread it about a bit more. And it's trying to it's trying to fly off with you. It's trying to drag you away as it's kind of screeching. And the other bird spirals back down, and as it sort of spirals back down, it kind of gets met by a number of these other birds that sort of fly in and just rip Sydney's body apart as they try and sort of share the spoils. And then you see them. More of them sort of spiraling up towards the bridge as they kind of get a smell for the taste for the blood.
Has Sydney dropped the sling?
Yeah, why not? Go on. I'll throw you a bone.
So Mold would go for the sling and pick it up and ready it.
Okay, so are you going to go for the one that's trying to drag Held off the bridge? I mean, you've got to bear in mind also that we discussed people that you like and people that you don't like when you were making these decisions earlier. So
yeah, but Mold is no halfling, so he has no quarrel with Held. So yeah, he will try to shoot at that bird because he got a ranged attack modifier of 1. So should I just roll or?
yeah, roll. So who is it? Again,
Mold.
sorry. Mold. So Mold's range attack is +1.
Yep.
It's a 1d4 damage. So, but your a range attack modifier is +1. So
10, 11.
That's a miss, I'm afraid.
Oh no!
And again, are you aiming at the one that's dragging Held away? Did you say? Okay, yeah. So you miss. People nearby have got like one more shot at this bird before Held is possibly going to meet his doom.
Good.
So anyone close by that? So any number of you can kind of pile in there. It's in melee range. This particular bird.
Okay. All right. I'll have Prune the blacksmith go to help him. 12.
That's a hit.
Wonderful.
With his hammer, I guess. The mighty hammer of Prune.
And 4 total damage.
So it's 3 + 1, yeah.
Yeah.
You managed to kill it. So do you want to describe how you kill it?
All right. I'm gonna swing the hammer with one arm, and then with the other one grab Held, and so it's like almost like I'm cradling him like a baby as I'm hitting the bird in the head and knocking it down off the side of the bridge.
Okay, excellent. So it smashes its beak. Bits of kind of feather and stuff fly off around, billow out into the air as it sort of spirals down. It strikes one of the birds that's kind of coming up, and it kind of flies a bit wonky off in another direction. But at that point, 3 more of these birds have started kind of coming in at you guys. And they're kind of coming in. So I guess they're actually coming in to sort of strike people. And I'm going to give those people an opportunity to kind of hit them back to kind of prevent them from kind of striking them as a kind of reflex attack. So I'm going to have one on Von, one on Angus, and one on Mold. Just those will be just randomly picking people. So Von, do you want to have an attack?
Oh, good one. 18 to hit. And then,
wow. Okay.
1d6. And then 6 damage.
Okay. Do you want to describe how you so it kind of comes in with its claws at you?
And that one's with the hand axe.
Yeah.
I'll say that I as it comes in with the claws, I'm able to grab the claw and kind of swing it around and hit it with the axe while I'm moving it around.
Okay.
I'll decapitate it.
Okay, yeah. Again, another blood spattered, probably less attractive in the grand scheme of things. Head bounces skims across the bridge, probably at somebody who just manages to get out of the way. Okay, who did I say next? Was it Campbell? Was it
Angus?
Angus.
Yeah. Okay, Angus will go. He got a 13.
That's a hit
for 1 damage.
Okay. It's going to get a strike on you then. Let's do that now. Put my other D20 away. $12.
That hits.
And 1 damage.
Okay.
So he's got you, that you're flapping. You can kind of have another attack at it in a minute. And the last bird. We've got two on the bridge, 2 are dead. Yeah, okay.
And the last one, Mold. Can Mold shoot with the sling again?
Did Mold have the sling? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. You can do that to prevent it having that attack, but if you sort of miss, I guess it'll probably be on you anyway, unless you manage to kill it.
17, 18. So it's a 1d4?
Yeah, 1d4 plus 1, right? For you?
So it's...
That's quite a lucky find.
4.
Yeah, so do you want to describe it being offed?
Yeah, he released the sling and it whacks the bird in the head. And so it isn't fatally wounded, but it dives down, something not stupid, and it crashes right into the invisible bridge. And it tumbles down. Nice.
Okay. So there'll be a few. The last remaining slower few are starting to arrive now. You guys get 1 attack on this bird. Who was it? Who had the attack?
Angus is the one who did the victim.
Angus gets 1 attack, and then he'll get 1 attack on you, and then the other birds will arrive. And I'll select some people for them to attack.
Okay, so Angus.
So I don't think I think it's kind of gone for you. It's trying to grab you, but you've kind of hit it, and it's hit you, but it hasn't actually grabbed you to try and drag you off the.
Okay, he got 19 to hit it.
Wow.
For 4 damage.
Yeah. Do you want to describe how you kill it?
Well, he's a herder, so even though most people use a staff to swing, he actually is more of a poker.
Yeah.
And so with this thing coming up, he just takes the end of the staff, gets it right in the chest of this bird, like right on the underneath side, and just pops it up so that its claws tear at his clothes a little bit. But he pops it up off of him, and it has a little bit of an arc.
Yeah.
It seems to be unconscious, and it just falls down off the edge of the bridge.
Nice. Okay. But your moment of celebration is short because 3 more arrive and strike, and they're going to strike. Carly the woodcutter and Bernard Oakbottom and who's got the lowest luck out of you two? Dale Dartmouth. So, Carly, let's roll that one first. That's a 20.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to roll on the crit table as well. I'm not sure which crit table they would be under, actually. So that's 2. Is he still alive?
Yes.
All right.
Great, because that means he gets to roll on the crit table.
Yeah. I need to find crit table monsters. So I'm just going to roll 1d20 on that. Seven. Blow to draw. PC loses 1d8 HP and the same number of teeth. Let me just roll that.
How many teeth are we starting with here?
I mean, she has 1 hit point left, so
Yeah, she's pretty much. I think that's the 1d8 I just rolled. Ooh.
5.
Yeah. Yeah, so the bird sort of just flies into you and just basically beak smashes you into the face, smashing your jaw, and teeth fly across the scatter across the bridge, and it just swoops you up into the air. And just you can see it sort of gorging on it as it sort of flies away. Next one.
I like how it's the women and the elderly who have been killed first. Oh, and an elf. I guess maybe he counts as elderly.
The faithful.
Yeah.
Bernard then, yeah?
Yep.
20.
What?
Ooh.
Sorry about that. 3 damage.
No, this does it. He doesn't even have to roll on the crit table.
Oh. Bernard's gone.
Is he? Does the bird drag him off?
Yeah.
And then lets him go.
Why are you trying to? If you got some sort of resurrection spell in your back pocket or something? I didn't.
Oh, but I get thief tools. Useful.
You could try and make a grab for his equipment, but obviously you might risk yourself being lifted off the bridge.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna let it go. Okay. Okay, and the last one is
Dale. Dale's ready.
can't roll 3 20s in a row, surely. 2.
Yes.
So it's distracted by the feast that the others have had, and it just sort of swoops kind of past you, kind of only half tries to strike you as it kind of swoops around to try and capture some of the other bodies, and they appear sated by the number of people they've consumed. And you are left in peace. They kind of go back to their perches on the shipwreck.
Dale's happy, but a little bit sad that he's not scrumptious enough.
Yeah, mixed feelings there. Mixed feelings.
Yeah.
Okay. So eventually, what are you guys going to do? You I guess there's like a couple of heads. Lots of teeth, 5 teeth. There wasn't any equipment salvaged, so I guess you're going to carry on, or is there anything you want to do at this stage?
Well, we're not going back.
Yeah,
I was going to say when Bernard perished, held just because he was a halfling.
Yeah.
He sheds a tear and just says, they should have stayed on the right side of the river. You know, he can't let it go because it's embedded in him. But he's you know, his heart isn't made out of stone, so he still feels.
Okay, so you trudge on, and eventually, who's walking in front?
Myron, still Myron.
Myron, and how are you? Are you still doing the tippity tappity tip taps?
Yep.
Okay, so eventually, you tap tap tap, and the edge of the bridge arrives. And no matter how much further everyone shuffles, if everyone's sort of shuffling right to the edge, it's still the edge.
Is it in? Are we on land or is it invisible too?
You're just still in the sea.
Oh yeah, all right. All right. Doesn't move any further. So Myron steps over and like checks what's in front of him. If it's maybe broader, or if it's just a continuation, or also.
You're gonna tap. You're gonna tap around. Did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you tap all the way along, and there's nothing there. You wave it around like this. There's nothing there.
Oh.
So it's not that we've hit something; it's that the bridge is no longer extended. Okay.
No.
All right. Wait, is this the third day?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Did I say 3 days or?
Yeah, 3 days.
Yeah, so this is coming to the end of the third day. So it's the evening of the third day.
Vaughn's gonna call out for the blue lady for guidance. You know, yell her name, tell her that we're here to see if there's any type of guidance.
How are you just going to shout, "Blue lady"?
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. There is no response.
Shouldn't there be some hole in the sky? I can see a hole.
Okay. Astrologer, do you want to roll up your amazing perception?
Yeah. Of course. He got a 9, so he got an 8.
Okay. You've noticed that the stars have kind of shifted a number of times throughout these 3 days, more than they would normally shift. That's as much information as I'm going to give you for that roll.
The stars are weird.
So what exactly does a hole in the sky look like?
Are you asking me or?
Campbell is asking the astrologer.
Oh.
So is it like a big black patch in the sky?
Yeah, it's like the hole in cheese, but imagine it in the sky.
Can I?
I have
Can the shaman? Can the shaman maybe meditate to try and get a vision of?
Yeah.
You know.
What might be coming?
Yeah.
Yep.
So what would that be?
I think that'll be perception as well.
Okay. So just roll.
What'd you roll?
In total, 9.
Okay. What is that first one there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. What do you meditate? You see in your mind a swirling hole of blackness. That's it. and then you probably start thinking about the weather and things like that. It's very hard to focus with all these people around talking and trying to sell gloves. Well, it appears that nobody after Nerd's leap of faith is planning on taking another one. So after a couple of hours, there's this. Well, over the next few hours, you see like this sort of blue light appear in the sky, and over the course of that 2-hour period, you see it sort of moving towards you guys. And within another hour, you make out like this sort of shifting, swirling sort of vortex. If you imagine sand being pulled through an hourglass, if you like, with sort of electrical, classic 80s film blue electrical sparks around it. And then within that, there's basically a big hole with what looks like a land beyond it with red sky, magenta sky. And eventually it lines up with the end of the bridge, and it's right there in front of you. What do you do?
I think the shaman will step up towards the vortex and step in.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Anyone else? He just disappears. Well, you can sort of see like a tiny speck, like he sort of, and then you can see like a tiny speck stepping out onto like a little ant in the distance.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to get stuck on this bridge all night, so Dale will go first, and the others will follow.
Okay, excellent.
Yep. And Prune, Vaughn, and Held will follow also.
Yeah. So will Myron, Mold, and Foxfire.
Okay. All right. So as you step through the hole, your ears pop, and a sudden warmth of the place makes you momentarily dizzy. You're in what must be an entirely different world. So it's like misty aired, it's tropical, there's these huge bamboo growths all around you, and the sky is kind of red. And there's this kind of heavy smell of like spices and saffron in your nose, like almost overpowering. And straight off into the distance is a huge sort of structure like that, basically, quite a way away. But obviously it's kind of shrouded with these kind of tropical mists. And I need to leave, so we're going to have a 5-minute break.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Hanging in there.
Yeah.
50%. It's not bad.
Getting worse.
Yeah. We have Nerd is the only one. Ian's doing quite well with the only death of his own volition. Yeah, so that the bridge bit is pretty much a kind of classic funnel hand of fate kind of scenario. So things are a little bit more under your control. A little bit. Okay. So there you stand on ground with swaying bamboo, and off in the distance is a tower of sorts, I guess. What are you going to do?
There's no other structures we see, right?
No, not really. No.
Well, we've been in the bridge for like 3 days, so
Yeah.
we're running out of food supplies. Maybe check the jungle for any edibles before we continue on.
Okay. Well, you've got your food, haven't you? You've got a dog.
I'm not eating the dog.
Okay. I'm just saying.
The dog could help us find food, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So are you going to send the dog off?
No. But we may follow it.
Yeah.
So who's up for hunting?
Foxfire would join you.
Yeah. Okay. So is some of you going? Some of you staying? All of you going?
All of my characters will go. I figured power and numbers.
Right, we're
I
safer in
think
group.
the shaman will go. I think Julian is a bit of a coward.
Okay. Fine. Just 2 seconds. I'm just trying to it's behaving a bit weirdly. My broadcast. Just give me 2 seconds.
This is making me think of lemmings for some reason.
I was just gonna. Is anyone else able to share the link in Discord, in game watching, by the way, or is it just me?
This link, the Hangouts link, or the
No. So maybe it's just me. In the bottom, I've got links, and I can click on that, and there's like an embedded link thing. So I just thought I'd stick it in there. Now we're kind of well into the game. So let me just mail myself my archaic. Just to completely disrupt the flow of the game. Sorry about that. So sorry. So one of yours is staying behind. Anyone else staying behind, or are you just going to stay behind on your own?
Yeah, because I think everyone else is going.
Yeah.
Myron, Mold, you guys are in, right?
Yeah. They don't want to be left behind.
Yeah, not in some strange, wacky place.
if everybody else is going, Julian will go as well because he doesn't want to be left.
Literally,
Okay,
I think
excellent.
that's what happened. Is 10 of us left, and you're like, okay, I'm going too.
Yeah.
Guys, wave, come on.
Just for the record, I think this is a really bad idea. So how are you hunting? Are you just letting the dog go and you're just going to follow it? Are you going to try and guide the dog towards the tower while you're kind of looking around, getting it to scurry around the outsides? What's going on?
I think what we'd do is we'd head in the direction of the tower because it's the only civilization that we see, just in case, and it's probably where we need to go anyway. But the dog's pretty hungry, and so if it starts to you know, sniff out something that it wants, it's fine. Plus, we'll look if there's large bamboo, palm trees, things like that. We'll look for anything that looks like fruits or nuts while we walk by.
Okay. Right. So you're heading towards it. Right, I'm done now. Sorry about that. Okay, so the dog sort of starts to get a whiff of things. So so there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of wildlife. Like, it's kind of weirdly quiet. You see a fair few kind of skeletal remains that are a bit strange shaped. Some of them are quite large and kind of, you know, you sort of walk into them, they're kind of covered in moss and all sorts. They're not really very many. You can't hear any birds or anything like that. But after about an hour, your dog kind of gets the sniff of something, and it kind of, and then it sort of stops, and it kind of looks pointed. It's a herding dog or something? Is it?
It's a herding dog, yeah.
So yeah, it's not the best bloodhound in the world or hunting dog, but it seems to have got the smell of something, and it's it's just sniffing the floor. What are you guys doing?
Well, if it stopped doing some sniffing, I'll stop with it, and then if it starts to follow a scent, I'll follow behind it.
Okay, so as you approach, the ground explodes beneath the dog, and a huge, let me just, green and black tiger stripe pig with huge elongated tusks and web-clawed feet of an alligator, classic DCC, explodes from the ground and just bites into your dog, and your dog sort of yelps for a moment, and then
Peaches!
silent. I'm afraid you're gonna have to cross the dog off the list. And it kind of, and so it's like its torso's out now, and it's kind of like, and it starts to try and drag the dog back in.
Angus is going to charge up with his staff, defend the dog.
Okay, all right, yeah. So maybe it might be alive. You might be able to nurse it back to health, I guess.
Even not, revenge will be sweet. Plus, if it looks like a giant pig, it might be edible.
This is also true. Would you like to roll?
I would, yeah.
Are you rolling on the dice roller as well, or are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay. I just haven't seen.
Yeah. Do you see me? I'm in the red in the bottom right.
There you are. I find it very hard to scroll around the table actually on this, but maybe it's just me.
Okay, I'm gonna roll.
Yep.
Ah, kidding me. Okay, natural 1.
Okay, you miss, and it's your movement and size and stature have intrigued the pig. It sort of spits the dog. It sort of casts the dog aside and sort of lunges for you.
Give me my dog back.
Were the last things he ever said. That's a 14.
It's attacking back. Yeah, 14 will hit.
And it's a 1d3 plus 1. That's a 3.
Okay, I'm down to 0.
Dead ski. Okay, so you guys see this scene unfold. Dog attacked. Man wildly flailed for a giant pig. Misses, saying, "Give me back my dog," and then gets skewered with a tusk as he just gets dragged. Probably gets sort of like classic horror story where they sort of folds in half as he kind of gets sucked down into the pit below.
And then we're 10.
Yeah. You can see Does anyone want to make a perception check? Anyone particularly perceptive in the group like to make a perception check?
How perceptive is particularly perceptive? Because I have a modifier of 1.
That's probably pretty good.
That is pretty good.
All right, I'm rolling that's Gerard, the
shaman.
Yeah, the shaman. So you got 13.
Okay, excellent. So you notice that the ground around you is kind of rumbling around. So just as this thing drags, who was it who died?
Angus died.
Peasant number 6. You see the sort of ground sort of roiling around nearby as well.
Move, you fools!
Let's run for the tower.
I agree.
Yes.
Okay. I want the 2 least lucky people to roll on luck, please.
My lowest luck is a 13 right now.
I got 10.
I have 2 6s, but it looks like. What about held?
Held.
Yeah, I have 2. So
Held.
I'll roll
Held
that.
has held on for quite a long time.
All right.
Okay, so
oh, good.
You said the 2 lowest, right? So we got 2 6s. Should they both roll along with held, or
Just pick one.
pick one? I like Dale less. Okay.
And I lucked out. I rolled a 19 minus 3, so I got a 16.
Wow.
Dale got a 2.
Dale's not so lucky. Okay. Well, just as you're sort of running, another pig sort of explodes out of the ground and tries to strike you for a 20.
Yeah, that'll hit.
For a 4.
And he's gone.
That's harsh. Sorry, man.
He only had 1 hit point. It was bound to happen.
Okay. I need to see Ian's dice. I'm not killing enough of his characters.
I know. Actually, I did that one on the roller.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Cool. Damn it. Held still got the lowest luck.
I'm having a lucky day.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time for Held to get scooped up at some point. Okay, you run and you run, and eventually you arrive tired, hot because it's tropical, sweaty, probably a bit despondent, I would imagine, a little bit, at the door of this huge tower. As you get closer, you see that the monolith kind of clears from the mist, and it sort of takes the shape of like a giant seed pod, but more like a kind of pine cone with all the cones all sort of folded in. So it's kind of like, and then around that it's kind of covered in sort of thorns. And as you get closer and closer, you see that there's this huge 60-foot. Well, I'm going to roughly, you guess, about 60 foot. You're good with measurements, let's say. Door that rises up in front of you, made of black wood, with a huge, massive, metallic latch in the center of it.
So that's like 30 feet up.
Yeah.
So this is a giant's home.
What are you gonna do?
Cry.
Maybe we should try to go around and see if there's another way in. Something like a window or, I don't know, peasant store.
Or like a giant rat hole.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there's a doggy door.
You walk around the structure. It takes you a reasonable amount of time, but it doesn't appear to have any other holes or gaps in it anywhere. Do you want to roll perception?
Yes. Foxfire will roll because she got a +1. So she got a 16.
Okay, you observe that there's quite a sizable gap at the bottom of the door.
Ah. So maybe we can slide under it.
Best idea yet.
No.
Just to help you along a bit.
Yeah. Do we have some light? Because if we don't see any windows, and it's probably pretty dark in there.
And we can make some torches.
Neither of my characters has any torch or torch lighting equipment.
Yeah. You need a...
We could. I still have the flint and steel, but we'd have to maybe go to some of these plants and figure if we could find a dry branch or something. This door is supposedly wood, but I don't want to like the whole thing.
Haven't we got more than one person with wood? I think.
Well,
yeah, Carly had wood.
Oh, right.
And then we burned some wood too to keep warm.
Mold has a chest, an empty chest. That's probably made of wood. Isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Why is he carrying around a chest?
You've got a bag of dung as well, so that might work.
Yep.
I assume night soil is dung.
Yes. I don't know how that makes a good torch, but
You just wad it on, dry it out. I don't know. I'm just trying to help. This is me being helpful. This is a helpful judge.
There's plants around here, right? We could at least pull some branches off of plants or look for any branches that are on the ground around a tree or something and just see if they light.
Yeah, I mean it's fairly damp because it's tropical,
right?
But you could sort of thin it out and make it into like tiny little kind of tindery things, and then try and light something else.
Yeah, maybe stick one end in the dung and.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it goes up a treat in the dung. That's it. It's done. No, yeah. So after a while, you manage to construct a
one good torch.
Yeah, I'm going to give you one good torch out of that process.
Okay. All right. Who's going first under the door?
Don't all shout at once.
I think if it's a dung torch, Mold will go. He can handle the dung. Yeah. So he will get down at the door and try to squeeze under it.
Okay. Yeah. So with a bit of effort, you squeak your way under the door. Anyone following?
Can you unlock it from the other side?
You could if it was 30 feet tall, yeah.
Vaughn will slide under there too.
Okay. Anyone else?
Campbell will go next.
Yeah.
Gerard will go Again, I think Julian will go last, probably.
Okay.
Oh, Myron and Foxfire, I think, will stay out and wait for confirmation that it is safe.
So who's outside?
Myron,
Foxfire,
yeah.
and
Yep.
sorry,
Julian will stay
Julian.
behind if there are still people outside.
Julian. And everyone else is forging ahead, right?
Went in, yeah. Prune and held also.
Did you say Prune staying in or out? Sorry.
All three went in.
Oh, all three. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay. So as you kind of come from under the door, you see a single huge. So the inside is like the outside. It's like a huge bell-shaped dome. It has the occasional kind of crack and holes that you can see, probably where the kind of bits of the pine cone pieces kind of fit into the outside. And there are sort of glowing, these kind of strange green glowing kind of creatures sort of buzzing around, kind of quite sizable. But probably the most striking feature of the room is the giant creature reclined against the back wall. It's probably about, I mean, you could be sizes, so about 60 foot tall, you guess, strangely enough. It has red-brown fur and a face, well, kind of like this.
All right.
Is it moving?
It's asleep, and hanging just above its head, from a massive tree branch, growing from inside the wall. So it kind of comes out of the wall. There's a branch, and then the branch appears to kind of become like a cage. There's a cage swinging above its head.
Anything in the cage?
You can't see from here.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any like furniture or something in here?
No, there's bits of branch and stuff like that. There's kind of mold covered floor.
Is the big creature sitting, lying down?
It's sort of sitting. It's just sort of sitting, kind of like that. It's kind of occasionally it kind of like that, and it snores. Kind of, you feel the noise of its kind of snoring. Kind of, you can feel it within your chest cavity. It's that kind of loud, and occasionally it'll kind of and like slobber will just kind of splatter around all over this big, huge, human-sized blobs of spit kind of land near it. But it seems kind of quite happy, contented in its sleep.
So best don't wake it up.
Is there a way to scale? Does it look like there's a way to scale up to the cage? Like, does it look like there's any handholds or anything?
Well, it would be quite the undertaking.
But I think that's what we came to do. To free whoever is in that cage.
Yeah. So Myron, Foxfire, and Julian, what are you doing right now? Has anyone communicated back to them? What's going
on? I think no. We are just waiting.
Okay.
Sire and Myron are just waiting. Yeah. Or
Okay.
with an eye to the to the forest.
Okay, cool.
If one of those tiger pigs comes out.
Okay, and who's closest to the Titan and who's closest to the door? So I'm looking at a kind of a marching order, if you like.
So I think Mold is first.
Mold.
He's closest to the Titan.
Yeah. Mold went through first, yeah.
I think Julian's in the not Julian.
Gerard.
Gerard is in the middle.
Yeah, that Julian was like always in the back. Oh no, he's outside still.
Yeah, that far in the back.
Right.
And then I'll go Vaughn, Prune, and then Held.
Mm-hmm. And then it's is that everyone?
Campbell's there too, so I guess if everyone else is up front, he might be hanging back.
Okay. Okay. Can Held and Campbell roll luck, please?
Okay.
Your favourite.
Held got a 16.
What?
Mine is 3, so 13.
Campbell got a 4 minus 1 is 3.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, so from above the door springs a vine which wraps around you and starts pulling you up towards the top of the door.
Okay. Is it possible to get a hand free? Because I have a dagger.
Yeah, you can get a hand free. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I can cut it before it gets me too high.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Attack roll. 11.
Yeah, so you stab it, but it spurts kind of goo, but it doesn't let go of you. And as you sort of staring at it, it flips you around, and you are like looking into the face of this gigantic pumpkin-headed creature with kind of green flames coming out of its mouth, and its tendrils are sort of spiraling out towards you guys as well.
Campbell's gonna yell, "Help!"
So it speaks to you and it says, "I'm awfully sorry, old chap, but would you mind leaving? I'm a protector of this area, and you are currently in a prohibited area, let's say. If you leave immediately, I won't have to do what I have to do, if you see what I mean."
I guess you're just gonna eat me anyway.
No. I mean, if you proceed, obviously I'll have to do what needs to be done. But right now we're in a negotiation.
Well, negotiations I can do. So, how much for the cage?
I'm sorry, that's not the kind of negotiation we're in right now.
I have some funds on me. I could make it worth your while.
I don't think you understand, and it kind of gives you a kind of squeeze.
All right, so I just have to agree to go.
And it places you next to the door and kind of starts trying to usher you under the door.
Underneath it? Yeah, Campbell's gonna make his escape underneath the door.
Okay. It kind of starts to scurry down the like a kind of spider webby kind of spider leg kind of thing, and it scurries to the ground, and it looks at the rest of you with its kind of deathly green glowing eyes and says, "Well."
Gerard gets his mace out and
You're going to run towards it and strike it.
yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Campbell is going to tell the guys outside not to go in. He'll give them a description of, well, there's this giant, and then there's this pumpkin vine thing, and we're just going to get killed.
Oh, this is going to be funny. Because I just realized what my attack roll is. It's a 14.
That is a hit.
All right. D6 minus 1. Not the pips. Not the pips. That is a 5.
Okay. It sort of writhes back and goes to strike. Who's left? 1, 2, 3, 4. So Mold's 1, Van's 2, Prune's 3, Held's 4. Right? Unless you want to strike. Do any of those people want to try and strike and hit in order to prevent themselves being in the...
That was Vaughn and Prune.
So you've got Mold, Vaughan, Prune, and Held. So it's just told you either you leave now or danger ensues. Gerard has just struck it and then a sizable chunk of damage. So the tentacle that's gone towards it has sort of reeled back. So you've got a kind of window of opportunity. What do you want to do?
I think Vaughn will try to hit.
Okay. You guys are very brave 0 levelers.
No, 5 for Vaughn.
It's a fine line between brave and desperate.
Okay. Anyone else you want to strike?
Yeah, Mold will shoot with the sling.
Okay.
And I got a 20. Whoop, whoop. And natural 20. 21.
Okay. Have you got the crit table there? I think it's a 1d4, isn't it?
Yeah. It's 1d4.
No, I'm on dragon spells at the moment.
Oh, it's 1d4 plus 1 for me.
Oh, because you've got extra luck.
Yeah.
Okay. I just need to find the flipping appendices.
So it's 5 damage.
Have you rolled the crit table as well?
No, I don't have the crit table. I don't know what I have to do. I just rolled my d4 and...
Hang on, I've got it here. I think. Hang on. No, I've got the monster's crit table. $22. I think it's 1d4. Still not slowing it down. Yeah. Got a 4. You're on mute.
Yeah. So it's I roll 1d4 on the crit table.
Plus 1. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a 4 and yeah.
So, but it's plus 1 because of luck, right?
Sort of luck. No, I don't got a luck modifier. I got a range damage modifier.
Okay. So you strike the foe's kneecap, which in this instance would be probably like a gnarly joint on the tentacle, adding an additional 1d4 damage.
So I got 3 and 1. So 4 damage.
9 damage. Okay. Okay, it's going to go and it's going to strike Vaughn then, as he was the only one that missed and didn't actually do significant damage. Brace yourself. That's at least 13, so that's a hit, right?
Yeah, got me.
So just to indicate the severity here. That's 8 damage.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you got me.
Okay, so he kind of grabs you, squeezes you, and then basically he pulls you into his mouth, where his jaws shut, and basically the green flame sort of immolates you. Outside, all you can hear is the sort of the screaming death of the person, and you can actually see Vaughn sort of writhing within the sort of internal furnace of the pumpkin head for a moment before his shadow disappears into ash. He says, "Now you see, I hope that's helped you understand. Please leave. I'll give you a few minutes to decide, and then I shall return." And he sort of scurries back up. It scurries back up. So currently you've got a giant creature, another giant creature, and like a dome-like area with detritus all around the edges. What are you going to do?
Maybe it can see us if you put out the torch.
Well, there are these flying creatures that buzz around. They sort of buzz around as well. They're kind of curious things, and they're kind of like these sort of giant flies, but their eyes are like 2 halves of a brain, and they glow kind of a green glow. Let me just check.
It doesn't seem like we can negotiate with it, and it seems like it's in the way between us and the cage. So I don't. If we can think of a way to get the upper hand.
Do you want to roll perception? Anyone that's inside?
I will. Oh, that's a natural 1.
Anyone else? You might as well all give it a go.
Yeah. 0.
Nope.
17.
Like a 4 and a 3.
Mold got a 17.
Okay, cool. Okay, so to one side of the chamber, so as I said, there's sort of debris all around the edges. You think you can make out kind of some sort of doorway in one corner, but you'd have to kind of, time is running out. You would have to make a run for it probably. It's kind of to one side of the Titan as well, so you would be literally within about 10-15 feet of the Titan's knee.
Is it a human or a Titan-sized doorway?
It's a human-sized doorway.
All right, I make a run for it.
What's everyone else doing?
He seems
you
to know.
haven't said anything to anyone else, right? So all of a sudden, Mold
Yeah.
seems to see something.
There. Just the door. Hurry up.
Can Held yell something under the door? That way the people outside
Sure.
know that we're gonna make a run for it.
Yeah. Okay, so you run. You hear like a kind of, oh dear God, and a kind of scurrying down as you run. So do you want to make a strength check to pull the debris away? I'll give each person involved. So there'll be one main actor, and then everyone else can give who helps gives a +1, unless they've got terrible strength.
I have -1 strength.
Me too.
Prune has +1 modifier.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, Julian the glove maker would have been your best man for the job, right? He's currently outside.
All right, I'll roll for it right now. I got an 8.
Okay, yeah. So with everyone's help, you pull the debris away, and you can kind of scurry in just as the kind of the tendrils sort of smack the side of the thing, of the edge of the doorway, I guess. So party number 2, never split the party.
Hearing all sorts of bad things from the other side of that door, so I'm not keen to go in any more than I was before.
Yeah, you've heard sort of horrifying screams of death in the last sort of 5 to 10 minutes. Is anyone coming through the door? Campbell, are you gonna? How do you feel about it right now? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm muted.
Oh, sorry. I'm not. Campbell's not going back in there unless everyone else does, and he's left behind.
Foxfire and Myron are going.
Okay.
Julian.
Julian. I think Julian will. Doesn't like noise.
You're welcome to wait. If you want, I don't want you to feel like you're forced against your common sense to do that.
No, Julian's going to stick with the one person that's left behind.
Fine.
Okay, Julian, Campbell. We'll just set guard here.
Okay, fine. So Noah's just stepped away, so I'll carry on with the. So you find yourself in a kind of gloomy chamber area that smells like kind of mouldy autumnal leaves. The chamber's lit by these buzzing little creatures, so which is fortunate because your torch is probably the poo's probably slipping down a bit down onto your hand and scorching your knuckle hair. So your other two, Mirren and Foxfire, are going to make a run for it. Basically you crawl under the. You haven't seen this. You basically see the dome. You see the Titan. You see the cage. You see the doorway across near the Titan's knee. You see this giant sort of vine-like tentacle sprayed across. He's kind of pulling back at the moment. He's kind of going back. You're welcome to look where it leads, or you can just kind of go for the doorway. You can kind of see your companions in the doorway, kind of hiding back.
Yeah, after them.
Okay.
Trying to get to the doorway.
Okay. I'm going to let you make a reasonably easy reflex or luck roll. I'll let you choose.
1 second. Reflex 0, -1, 0, 0. So it's luck for both of them.
Okay.
So first one is Foxfire.
Mm-hmm.
And an 8. Yeah, glorious.
That's fine.
And 13.
Okay.
From Iron.
So basically, the tentacle sort of wearily, the vine tentacle kind of wearily goes back as you kind of dart, and it kind of like pulls back and kind of slaps down as you kind of make it through the door. Into a, it's as I was describing, it's a chamber. Smells kind of moldy leaf kind of smell, like kind of moldy vegetation, and there's a number of these sort of these large buzzing creatures with the sort of brain-shaped eyes floating around. To the left, you see a sort of shadowy passage, which sort of seems to sort of run round the side, inside the between the outer wall and the inner wall of the pod, basically.
Let's go that way.
Yeah, and as you kind of walk along it, you can see cracks. You can see into the main hall. You can see the Titan. You can see the kind of glowing green glow in the darkened corner of the main room.
And between the outer and the inner wall, inner wall, and with the cracks, is there a possibility to climb it, to come up to the cage, and then go from the outside into the cage? Or
so it's like a hollowed sort of tunnel like this, which is kind of leading upwards. It kind of follows a path upwards.
Right.
Up the outside. So it's sort of it's sort of leading along, and there's a sort of slight upward slant to it. Meanwhile, outside, the guardians of the door.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Are kind of relaxing. Or are you? How are you feeling right now? Are you feeling comfortable? Are you feeling like you've made the right call? That
I'm glancing back at the forest every now and then, just in case.
Yeah.
Campbell regrets this whole thing, and is just coming down out of his. He's just starting to stop shaking.
Yeah. 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 He had a benevolent judge moment there, I would say. Yeah. Right. Would you like to roll initiative?
No, but we will.
So that was that. Is that agility then?
No. So on your it is, but on your sheet you should have an in it, which is on the third row next to speed.
It's D20 plus that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Initiative 6 for Campbell. Because why roll over 10?
18.
How much?
18.
Okay. So as you're sort of talking, out from the underbrush, looking in the other direction, stumbles like a kind of classic kind of desert island kind of guy. You know, ragged clothes, spear, and he kind of turns and sees you, and he's sort of he looks kind of distressed, slightly mad, maybe one would say. What are you gonna do?
Does he speak? I'll speak to him in common just to hail him and see if he understands my language.
He says, I'm just, he just screeches, they left us. The chaos is coming. And then charge towards you.
Julian was just sort of holding his awl out in front of him, like, and then he's just gonna try and like stab this guy with it as he's running at him. Like,
Okay, go for it.
All right. Reroll. Nope. So that's a 9.
That's a miss, I'm afraid.
Okay, well, if he's attacking, Campbell's going to go over and help him. Maybe try to get behind him and stab him with the dagger.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Attack roll is a 6.
Nice. Okay. He's going to go for you, Julian,
Right.
with an 11.
My
Plus
AC
one.
is 8,
Well.
so
Yeah, that's a hit. 1d6 plus 1. 3 plus 1, 4. That's bad news, right?
yeah, that's all my HP.
Julian!
Okay, so he runs you through, and he kind of, as he runs you through, he kind of gets really close to Julian as his kind of blood is pouring out of his mouth, and he goes, "I can smell the Lady of Blue on you. You're all going to die. You're all going to die." And then he kind of runs off into the wood. Campbell, what are you gonna do?
Let's see. Look, he's gonna. He's not even gonna. Julian's clearly dead. He's gonna run back under the door and just see if he can find any other people to hide behind. So he's gonna sneak back under the door. Titan be damned. Pumpkin guy be damned, and just go back to the party. He's not gonna be alone.
Okay. You could just wait it out, I guess, and see what happens.
Well, no, because then he's gonna get spiked by the next weird, insane cannibal guy.
That's also possible.
Yeah, it's bad to worse. He doesn't expect to survive. He just wants to hide behind somebody.
Okay. I'm gonna let you run across the hall in relative safety, and you get to the other side. Okay.
He may get a glimpse of that open doorway and the debris, and just he'll just run. He'll run until like he practically bumps into somebody. So
yeah,
danger be damned.
Yeah, I was just checking you whether you had a good luck or a good agility. But I'll give you that one.
He's got a good stamina. He can run.
Yeah. There's plenty more chances for Campbell to shine, as it were. In the the people in the vanguard, who are they? They are Mold, Prune, Lucky Held, and Gerard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So as Mold and Gerard sort of start, I assume those you're saying in the same order.
Yeah.
As you walk along the corridor, you sort of spring these two people. They spring out in front of you. Hang on a second. Where am I?
Crazy.
Right. One of them. So I want you to roll initiative.
Is it just them?
Just two. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Initiative is also D20.
17.
11.
Uh, 13, 11. Mold.
Mold is 11.
Mold is 11, sorry. But prune and held.
Prune is 13 and held is 6.
Okay, so Gerard, you can act first. One of them jumps out with kind of debris that's been sharpened into a point, and he sort of starts to thrust it at you guys. So he sort of jumps out. You get to act before he gets to do anything.
I'm going to swing my mace at him, at his arm as he's trying to stab me with this bit of debris. Oh, come on. That's 9.
9. Do you want to burn any luck?
How much luck do I have? Yeah, I'll burn a point of luck.
Yep.
Is 1 point enough to make it hit?
Yeah.
All right. 1d6 minus 1. 5.
Right. Do you want to describe his merciless death? Well, or merciful. Depends on how you do it, I suppose.
I think I cobbed him. I cobbed the weapon out of his hand, and then just cobbed him in the, brought it back round into his stomach.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So he's he just kind of you hear these ribs kind of collapse, and he kind of falls forward face first into sort of mossy mold. However, there is a second person that was hiding, and they are running back up the corridor away from you, shouting help extremely loudly. Prune.
All right. I'll try to see if I can chase him down and hit him in the back of the head with the hammer.
Okay.
Nope. 6, 7, and then a 2.
So 9. Do you want a bit of luck?
I'll burn 2 to roll it up to. Well, I got 6, 7. So I need to burn 3 to get to 10.
Oh, I thought you had +2.
Oh no! I rolled the damage at the same time. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Right, yeah. So you sort of swipe, and he kind of gets away from you a little bit. Mold, what are you doing? Are you pursuing?
I try to shoot him if he's running away.
Oh, you've got your dead eye. You're the dead eye sharpshooter, aren't you? So yeah.
That's me. Good old Mold. 9, so it's 10.
That'll be hit.
Hit? Alright, cool. So it's 5 damage.
Okay. Yeah. So you sort of smack it in the back of the head, and they fall forward just as it kind of turns a corner. So their sort of feet are dangling out. So it's currently mold, then oh no, so it's prune, mold, I guess.
Mold holds up the sling. Best thing I've ever stolen of a corpse.
Yeah, there you go. It's always worth looting the corpse. Held. Right, and then Campbell, right? So Campbell, you rejoin them there. It looks like you just at the end of some sort of conflict, shall we say?
Campbell's not surprised, but he's just muttering to himself, "We're gonna die. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. We're gonna die."
Yeah, this is just out of frame for a moment. This is like one of the toughest funnels that I've read,
Sure.
by the way. So you're doing extremely well. Back into go. Okay, so there's a corridor. It leads away. In the darkness, you can just about make out a ladder of sorts. Would Prune, Mould, and Gerard like to make a perception check for me, please?
$18.
18.
Just an 8 for Prune.
An 8. Just
Okay, so Gerard spots moments before Prune and Mould step on it. And there's a tripwire running across the corridor.
I put my hand out in front of them and step over it.
Yep. Okay, cool. So I'm now going to put you in front. Yeah, so you arrive. Basically, you reach a very small, narrow shaft which goes up, and there's a crisscross of makeshift ladders that go up into the wall space. What are you gonna do? Let me just get a head count. How many people has everyone got?
We're at 7, I believe.
So you've got 1.
Rob's got 1, Ian's got 2, and Flo's got 3.
Woo!
but 2 of them are lost. Where are they?
Oh yeah. Where are they? They made it across the thing, didn't they? They did, yeah. So they're with Campbell and at the back.
Yeah.
I was doing pretty well with my player counting up until then. So that's Mirren and Foxfire, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Always healthy to stay at the back, but not right at the back.
So what we see up ahead again?
You see there's a shaft quite reasonably wide, and there's like ladders which lean against one wall, and then a ladder going across another wall, and then up into the roof cavity.
Let's go up the ladder towards the roof then.
Okay. Yeah, you climb the ladders. You get to the top. You're at the front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How you see the sort of lip of the top? How are you going to just climb over, or are you going to look, or are you going to set off a firework, or
I'm going to look over before I
let somebody else go over first? What you can do? Sorry.
I'm going to look over, like.
Okay, so the first thing that hits you is the smell of the stench of kind of human detritus, basically. There's a bit of light that comes in from the walls. There's a cage with some of these flies hanging from the ceiling. And there's basically a group of humanoids that you can kind of make out sort of lolling around in rags, basically, all around on the floor and hither and thither. Probably the most distinguishing thing. Do you want to make a perception check, actually? To see you observe this.
It's 14.
Yeah, so you observe that there is what looks like a kind of stocky individual sitting at a low table towards the interior wall, with his face, he's facing away from you, and also there's a cooking area, and there's also several sort of bundles of things hanging from the ceiling in sort of nets of sorts.
I'll go back and tell the others what I've seen.
How many are they? Have you seen it? Can you count?
Yeah. How many did I see exactly? You said
Probably about six or seven.
And the stocky guy at the table.
Mm. So yeah, he's like seventh.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe we can negotiate with them. I mean, we're as much as them.
Well, we can send someone up to try that and have the other people in waiting.
Wait, wasn't it Campbell? Campbell, aren't you the negotiating your specialty?
Well, apparently not, after it didn't work on the pumpkin guy.
Or the mad guy either, weirdly.
Unless they like money, I'm not sure I can be a help.
Plus, he's kind of on edge, I would say.
They're just going to eat us anyway.
Maybe we can trick them somehow. Get them to go up to the ledge and pull one or two of them down.
Well, what do we want to do here?
I think we need to go up. If you want to go to the, if you want to reach the cage, we need to go up.
Yeah. So if we want somebody to drag them down, it will have to be somebody other than me.
Crunch time for the party.
Prune's the strong one.
Yeah, and you know what? I've got 13 personality also. I'll go up there first and say hi. If that doesn't work, I'm going to try to throw someone off.
Okay, so tell me how you approach these individuals.
All right, I'll put the hammer on the loop of my belt, so at least there's nothing in my hand. As I come up the edge, I'll have my hands out, and I'll just scream parlay and see what happens.
Okay, so you leap up and go parlay, parlay like that. As the sort of rags kind of like lurch up at this kind of appearance of some kind of new person, but the stocky individual sort of turns round and you become aware that it's kind of dwarf of some age, and he kind of chuckles quietly, and he kind of puts his hand towards the other humans who are about to kind of lunge for you. They're clearly kind of picking up kind of cleavers and blades. And he says, talk. And you see him sort of, he's slowly sort of sharpening his axe on a whetstone as you're talking. You better talk fast.
All right. Well, I mean, we have no idea why what we're doing here necessarily, besides we're freeing someone or something. Hi, I come in peace. I'm here to assist you. Please, set down your weapon. Let's talk.
You're here to help me? How
Yeah,
could you possibly help me?
Well, what do you need?
I need somebody to get me out of this terrible dimensional pocket. Can you help me with that?
Yeah.
You a wizard?
Yeah, well...
You don't look like a wizard.
I knew a sage.
In fact, you look like the last bunch of idiots that came up here.
Well, yeah, what happened to them?
He briefly looks over at the kitchen area. He says, they died.
All right, so I'll try my hardest to get you out. You lay down your weapons. We'll talk about this.
I just don't think you've got what it takes. And he kind of pokes you just to see how kind of plump you are.
I've got +1 strength. Well, plump, huh? I was going to flex, but that might work against me.
Yeah.
Well, if you go around eating everyone that shows up, your chances of getting out of here is probably less.
Okay, if you make a really good personality roll.
Yes, fool him with logic.
12.
Is that with all your bonuses?
I rolled 11 +1. Yeah.
Given the circumstances, he kind of looks, he kind of rubs his beard like that, and he says, "Yeah, unless you've got some sort of scroll, my friend, your time is up." And he kind of swings for you with his axe as it kind of.
All right.
Initiative. I'll roll initiative as well.
I got a 2.
I've got 18.
Campbell got a 16.
Just to check, we've got 10 minutes before the 11 o'clock deadline. Is everyone happy to overrun for half an hour?
I can go for
I'm
another
fine.
half hour.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
so there's not much left to go. So if you're happy to do that.
All right, I got a prune 5, held 6.
Okay, so what I would say, you can all universally act under the 16 initiative. So it'll be I act first, then you act as a unit, because Campbell's like way down the bottom of the ladder, I guess. But I guess you kind of, as conflict arises, you'll pour over the edge and you'll get a second attack. But I guess he's kind of got, in the fiction, he's kind of got the advantage anyway, so it makes sense. If I was going to go all Dungeon Worldy on you, right. He's got a D3 as well. His mighty deed. And was that 16? I think yeah, so he's got that's 18 a hit. I'm assuming that's a hit.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Prune can handle it. We believe in you.
Wow. I think this is the right one. That'd be 10.
All right.
Prune!
Yeah, as the blood's spraying out of my mouth like a garden hose, as he gets me, I'm gonna scream parlay, spit blood in his mouth or on his face.
They attacked us under parlay.
One thing you do note as a group is, just to help you a little bit, is when he was sharpening his blade, the blade began to glow more and more and more. And then once it was sufficiently glowed, he kind of stood up. And then so what's everyone else doing? Yeah, he's
climbing over the ledge.
Yep. So you will get an attack.
Yeah.
So should we just act like parallel, or?
Yeah. Let's go for it.
All right. This is. So it's a 20 for Foxfire with her staff.
Mm-hmm.
5 for Myron, astrologist, just
Nice.
right, and a 15 all for Mold with his sling.
That's 2 hits.
Woo-hoo.
Are they both targeted against the dwarf?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do those then, and then we'll move on to the next wave?
Do I have to roll on a crit table for the 20?
Yeah, can do. I've got to find it again, but I think I can remember the page number this time. I forgot there's a fumble table actually, but there we go. I think we managed it anyway. How are we doing?
So it's 1 on the crit table.
Opportunist strike, inflict +1 d3 damage with this strike. So you can roll my 1d3 there. I've got one already there if you want to use it.
Yeah. So it's 3 damage for the for my normal damage.
Yep.
And 2. Was it just a 3? 1d3?
1d3, yeah.
Yeah, so it's 2.
That's 5.
So 5 all in all, yeah.
And is that everyone? Is that everyone's damage?
No. 5 for Foxfire and 2 for Mold. So 7.
Okay. Do you want to describe how you kind of charge out and kind of attack? He's still standing, but you seriously.
So I think first is Mold again from the back with a sling, and I think his shot opened an opportunity for Foxfire. So he's just charging forward with her staff, and as the dwarf is swinging around slightly, she also targets his head and whacks him 1 over the head.
Okay, perfect.
Real good.
So he's looking a bit. He's like. So I think he's gone from like the cat that's got the cream, where Prune kind of was his like food. Like maybe he was even like tasting the blood as it sort of spurted into his mouth, like, and then suddenly you've like opportunity strike, and then another strike, and he's kind of like he's sort of staggering back. And then like the ragtag group of kind of beragged group kind of rush to kind of defend him a little bit.
Heroes.
Oh, you guys, yeah. Heroes in the waiting.
I'm gonna charge in and strike at one of the guys that are going after, going to defend the dwarf.
Okay, go for it.
All right, reroll. All right, that's an 11.
Yep, that's a hit.
And
It's a terrible side, Rob. Makes me sad.
0 damage.
0 damage. Okay.
Can Campbell still get to the dwarf? Yeah. I think so. In this round, yeah.
Okay.
He rolled a 16 to hit.
Okay, go for it.
4 damage.
Yeah. Do you want to tell me how you take the dwarf out? Campbell's heroic moment.
Okay, so a whole bunch of our heroic party has come up, and so Campbell takes the initiative he climbs up, he sees Prune's mangled body and the bloody axe, and he whips around behind him and just jumps on the guy's back and takes his dagger and just stabs into the chest until the dwarf just collapses with Campbell on top of him.
Okay. Okay, so the bedraggled kind of group are kind of standing in awe that you've kind of defeated him. So I'm going to give you all an opportunity to attack them if you want, or do something. You've got 1 additional action as a result of Campbell's mighty deed, mighty merchant deed of arms.
Roll 2 in attack roll.
Okay, that'd be a miss.
Yep.
Held ran in 11
If
to hit.
If only we're Dungeon World.
And it's a fumble for Foxfire.
I'm going to use the fumble table now. I found it.
But it's a crit for.
Wow. Okay, well, I might as well find that on the same place.
And it's 11, so probably a hit for Mold again.
Mold is a beast, man. He just
Yes. This sling is great.
yeah.
Best thing I've ever stolen.
Okay, so Fumbles.
Stories will be told of Mold and the Magic Sling.
Yeah. Yeah, so you just roll a d20, and then it changes depending on your luck modifier or if you've got armor on.
So no armor, no luck, and d20 is a 16.
That high is bad.
Yeah. Foxfire.
Yeah, so you accidentally strike yourself for normal damage plus 1 extra point.
+1?
So your normal damage plus 1.
Oh!
That's your normal damage.
Can't survive. It's 3
Oh, dear.
damage. I got 2.
Okay, so that would be, who's that?
Foxfire.
Oh dear. Do you want to describe your own death?
Foxfire in the
Without
range.
welling up too much? Without crying or welling up too much. If you can help it.
No, in the rage of the battle, she just struck the mighty dwarf, and he jumped on to the necks of this ragged guys, and she tripped a little bit, and I think she just rammed her staff on her head.
Oh.
Oh, that's harsh. It says you fall back on your back and are unable to right yourself until you make an agility check. So you just fall. I assume you just fall through your staff. However, is it Mirren? Mold.
No, Mirren hits for 20.
Mirren's the hero in this one. Right. So you get to roll 1d4, which seems a little unfair, but that's the way it is. On the crit table.
It's a 3.
3, a stunning crack to the forehead, inflicting 1d3 damage with this strike, and the foe falls to the bottom of the initiative count next round. I would say falls to the bottom of the pit if you.
Oh yeah, nice. So it's damage-wise, it's just 3. No, 4. 2 normal and 2 from the D3.
So yeah, you off them, and in fact, so that's what? How many is that? 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you take out 2. I'm going to say because I've only got 2 HP.
Nice.
And you got a crit, so you got follow through on that.
And last one is Mold, and he's 2 damage with the sling. But they are 2 damage each.
Yeah, they're 2 damage, so that's another one. So who's left with this attack of opportunity?
Wow, in that turn flow, you took out 4 characters. Just one was yours.
Yeah, you've just basically lost it, and you've just gone for it. So I think it's their attack. So there's 3 of them left. So I'm going to roll 3d20. I'm going to say Campbell, Mirren. Am I? I'm going to go for the most heroic or the most unheroic. Yeah, Campbell, Mirren. It's got to be held, I'm afraid. It's your last man standing. I've got to pick someone. Let me just no. So let me move that 16 out of the way. I think it's held. It's held. Don't tell me held's your last man.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh no. So unless somebody's got a 7, then it's 1d3. How many hit points has Held got?
He's toast.
He's got 1.
He's had one. He's had one for a while.
Oh no.
Help!
Hell.
Then held, I'm afraid.
Oh, he's toast.
Oh no! Does anyone want to? Has anyone got anyone else left?
I
that
got
they could
two.
lend. Can you lend a character?
Of course, but it's got to be Myron because
Yeah, you know, you could play him. I don't mind just watching the rest of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't bug me.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah, that's how it rolled.
Yeah.
all right.
We're right behind you.
It's all right. Campbell should have died ages ago, so he's like on borrowed time, really,
Yes.
and it's just shifted the tide. I'm regretting that decision already.
It's okay. Even if he lived, he would be so emotionally scarred.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got yeah, so you've got three of them left. So they're kind of excited. There's a lot of food right now lying around. So they're kind of sort of hungry and distracted. But they know there's a threat. Go ahead.
Okay, Campbell's charging in.
Go for it.
7.
That's a miss.
Yeah, Myron is also charging and Mold aiming for another one.
Yeah, it's Jared. Gerard is gonna. Zero.
10 and
13. 0 damage.
Oh my god.
they hit on 10.
Yeah.
10. All right, so both hit. So Myron, 2 damage and 3 damage from Mold.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's 2 damage. 2 damage. There's one left. I think they kind of start to cower in the corner and go, "Mercy, mercy!"
Never.
You gave us no mercy.
Are you gonna just finish them off?
Yes.
Horribly, horribly.
You'll have to hold Campbell back, or you can join in.
Blood spattered Campbell.
Yeah.
With a kind of ghostly white skin underneath the blood
Yeah.
splatter. Dark rings around his eyes where he's been sent to the brink of insanity. Okay. Yeah, all goes quiet. What do you want to do? It's not over yet, guys.
Going onwards.
Hmm?
What's the exits to this room?
There's a sort of billowy sheet at the back.
There's still this strange axe of the dwarf. If somebody wants a better weapon.
Does anyone want to roll perception?
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't need a better weapon. I need a better strength stat. 5.
That's what Campbell got too. So
Yeah, it smells a lot in here.
I'm gonna check behind the sheet.
Mold got a 9 on his perception.
Okay. You get the feeling that it's not necessarily the axe that was important. It was the sharpening stone.
Oh. So I got the sharpening stone.
You're gonna grab
well,
it.
maybe you should use it.
Yeah. No, I give it to Myron because I'm really, really shitty on melee.
There's a nice axe. They've all got like clubs and kind of makeshift knives, and there's one's got a hatchet. So if you want to take any of that, that's fine. If not, there might be some nondescript food in the pot. If you're hungry, to you, just let you know. Okay. So you push back the sheet, and beyond is like this kind of squirming mass of sort of humanoid blob-like shapes of sort of hands and kind of tortured faces and stuff, kind of writhing around up a short corridor.
That's the only way onward?
Yeah. They're just screaming in sort of torment, basically, and madness.
I just quietly put the sheet back.
I think we should get back on the bridge.
Is there anything flammable here?
Yeah, there's loads of stuff. Basically, they're all their rags, and there's the things hanging from the ceilings, all sort of netting and roping. And
okay, Campbell's going to take some of that. What he wants to do is light some of it on fire and throw it into that mass of tormented flesh.
Okay, you throw it in. Are you familiar with the film?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff happens. So it's like a sort of screaming, writhing flame. Yeah, it's burning pretty heavily now, and will be for a while. So are you just going to wait it out, or are you going to kind of plow on? Or
I'll follow the group, but otherwise he'll wait it out if there's a lot of flame and flailing.
I think we wait until it
burns out.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's just this horrid sort of stench for a good couple of hours, screaming and writhing and screeching and horribleness, stomach churning sounds, and then after a while it kind of burns out.
Okay, let's go. Campbell will be the first. Dagger out.
Campbell's gone from the rear guard straight up to the front now.
He's given up. He's on full adrenaline. Just everything must die.
Okay, so beyond that, there is another shaft with a ladder that goes up. But this one, it kind of goes up the wall. It's very stale and dusty. It's 20 feet long, 25 feet long. I don't know why they have to be so specific.
We're climbing it.
Yeah.
Okay. As you climb up, at one point, you go for a rung and it breaks off, and it's like a human skeletal hand. And you see the human hand was jutting out of like a pile of rubble, and then there's like a gap of like a few feet. You have to kind of climb up the rubble to get to the next bit of the ladder.
Okay, Campbell be the first.
What are you gonna do?
Just keep climbing if we can get to the upper part of the ladder.
Okay. What you're just going to drop the bony arm down to the?
Yeah, I'll try not to hit any of the other guys on the ladder with it, but just toss it away.
Okay. You get to the top. Anyone else doing anything else, or are you all just carrying on climbing up?
Just climbing. Yeah.
Okay. It climbs for another 60 feet. and you get to the top of the chamber. There are a few of those buzzing insects. They kind of buzz around you curiously. You see the branch reaching out into the center of the chamber. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Can we walk across it from here? Like walk out onto the branch?
Yep. It's quite a wide branch.
Okay.
So
Campbell will go out onto the branch.
yeah. Myron will follow. Mold next.
Okay.
And me.
Okay, so you walk along the branch, you get to the edge, you look over the edge. Just as you look over the edge, you hear, I really would advise that you leave immediately. I think I've warned you many times before. You're wasting my time and your own. I highly recommend that you leave now. You look down. There's a cage. Within the cage is a woman with green skin and a green cloak, huddled in the corner. She sees you peering over the edge and she says, "Mercy, no more torture, please help me. Oh, mercy, mercy," like that. What do you do?
So what's the is there a way to break open the cage?
Yeah, you can clamber down and try and open it. Well, you have to clamber down first. It's a climb check, basically. Down. It's about 10. So from the branch, it's like it comes down. It's about 10 foot to the cage. So you have to kind of climb down to the cage.
Dear.
Anyone strong? Any strong people?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get too excited. This is the moment of heroicness.
So, as my least weak person, Myron will try to climb down.
Okay, go on then.
And it's 13.
You climb down. So you climb down the wooden kind of branch, twisted branch, down towards the cage. And you see there's a door with a kind of huge lock like that. And above the door, it says, all right, hang on a second. She says, "Set me free. Are you here to set me free? You must put your hand in the lock and accept the pain, and then."
Oh, great! Yeah, we're here to set you free, and I Myron grabs on to the cage, and puts his hand in the lock. And bites his teeth.
Fort save. Fortitude save.
I got. Oh, it's a 2. It's a 3. Hey, it's a 3.
Yeah.
Failure means they pass out from the pain and fall to their death.
Oh.
In fact, because you're above the Titan, you sort of bounce off the Titan like that, and the Titan kind of wakes up like this, and kind of looks down at you, and sort of just flips your body into its massive mouth. And again.
No.
Next.
Well,
does that at least free there, or does it not unlock from that?
That's a good point. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, I think it opens. Yeah, once the door's open. Yeah, yeah. So it swings open, but he sort of falls to his death.
Okay, is the green lady doing anything?
Is that all of you guys dead?
No, he's got mold.
Yeah.
Oh, you got mold. We got mold.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got mold.
Yeah.
Is the green lady doing anything now?
Oh yeah, you've opened it, haven't you? Yeah. So as you open the door, she sort of shrieks, and the cage explodes. The cape is actually her bat-like wings as she flaps. The dome explodes. I'm free! I'm free at last!
Oh.
You've destroyed my prison. Now this realm will be destroyed too. As you see the sort of magenta skies cracks appearing. Run! Run while you can!
Where to?
The hole in the sky where you came, you fools. Why am I having to tell you this stuff?
I'm running.
Yeah. Motor's running too.
Okay, so as you run, the whole pocket realm disintegrates in a sort of searing howl of joy. The woman in the cage is free. As you exit, your ears pop again, and the normal air that you would normally breathe now feels foreign and exotic. But after a while, it sort of passes, and there you are, back on the cliff with the lady in blue waiting for you. She's extremely pleased with you, obviously. And she says that now you are her chosen warriors, and you have her favor. And also, not forgetting, you have your chance to re-roll your destinies.
Yes.
However, as my chosen warriors, I may call on you to serve again. These are all coming out of the heads of the beheaded head. Right then, the Wheel of Destiny. Do you want to roll the Wheel of Destiny?
Campbell's ready. He's got nothing to lose.
You get +1 for any characters that ate the despoiled dishes at the feast at the start.
Okay, we did.
You get +2 for the first character to step on the invisible bridge. Sorry about that. Did anyone behead an opponent? Yes.
I gave one's head in, so.
Did somebody beheaded a bird?
Uh,
I think that was the only one I could think of. Who opened the cage? Oh, it's somebody dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the other ones are not applicable. Because none of you even thought about betraying the lady in blue once. Okay, you get a roll 1d20 plus luck. Who's going first?
Campbell, go first.
So my luck went down to 12. Is it still a 1 for the modifier?
Yep.
Okay.
Campbell's roll is a 13. Oh, how wonderful.
A significant change to the character's stars. The character receives a +1 to his luck score and an additional attribute score reroll. You can also reroll your lucky roll if it matters. And your age or appearance can change in any way that you see fit. So hair or eye color, slight adjustment to height. And you can age up to 1d12 months. Do you want to reroll a stat? And add 1 to your luck? You can even reroll your luck, I guess, and then add your 1 if you wanted to do that.
No, he'll. Let's see. Actually, I think he will re-roll the luck.
Mm-hmm. You can add the
Okay.
+1 after the roll as well.
Okay.
You can
We'll
keep
do that.
the original roll, or
Got it. So just 3d6,
Mhm.
and I get.
3.
Oh, whoops, that's not right. 3d6, and he rolled a 5, so I'll keep my luck.
Yeah, so you can max your luck +1. I'll let you do that. I'll let you have a think about how his life has changed, but only in a minor way. Okay, who have we got next?
I rolled a 4.
A 4. History is rewritten. The character had managed to ignore the summons of the lady in blue and goes back to his normal life as if he had never responded to those dreams or participated in this adventure. One of the characters that died during the adventure is brought back to life in their place, with the same rules for resurrected characters as listed above. So basically, whoever it is, Gerard the Shaman, basically disappears and returns to exactly where he was before he left for this adventure, and continues the rest of his life with a deep sense of loss, with some unknown missed opportunity that he may or may not have had. You can resurrect one of your other characters and re-roll on this with luck -1. Well, so your luck bonus, but you also get -1 to the roll.
So might as well make it. I'll make it Sydney because she was the
original,
the bravest.
Okay,
the bravest out of all of them, I think.
Okay, so she gets +2, but she gets +1 because she was +2 because she was the first person to set foot on the bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
+2 for that, then -1 for being this resurrected one. You get +1. She's got -1 luck, so you've got a 0 modifier. That's just
come on. 18.
Major change to the character's stars. The character receives a permanent +2 to his or her luck score and re-rolls 2 stats. You can re-roll your birth roll as well, which is your lucky roll. The character chooses. The character's identity changes significantly. They age ±1d4 years. They might be from a new family, city, or even a different country and have major physical changes, gender, or race. They might even have a new name. So you've got 2 stat re-rolls and +2 on luck.
And I can re-roll my luck as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So re-roll. Is it just how does the stat re-roll work?
3d6.
3d6. Okay. That's 6. That's an 11.
So you can have 11 +2 for that if you want, or you can have 11 for strength, I guess.
I'll have 11 +2 for luck. So that's 13. That takes me to +1 luck.
Oh, you're on the wrong character there.
Yeah, sorry.
And then you get 1 more stat re-roll.
Could she do with better, let's say, strength?
Okay.
Real strength. Let's roll for the party. One of those dice disappeared. I'll just re-roll this green then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's better than what she had in strength, I guess.
What was it? So you got like 8 or something, right? Was it?
It was 6.
Okay. And now it's
8.
okay. So that's a 0 mod. That's all right. And then finally, the mighty mold, Power Ranger.
Yeah, my internet just crashed, and I'm on my phone right now. So
Yeah, you
I
just
can't
got a
roll.
1d20 plus luck, and your luck modifier is 0. So I don't think you get anything else.
No. So can someone please roll for me?
Does somebody want to take the responsibility of re-rolling his destiny?
I think he's better off if it's not me.
Ian, do you want to roll for his destiny?
Yeah, let Ian do them.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're muted.
15.
15.
What
So
is my fate?
stars. So you get +1 bonus to your luck score. You get 1 additional re-roll to one of your stats. And you can age slightly, or eye or hair color, or slight adjustment. So you can re-roll one of your stats, including luck, if you wanted to do that.
Luck is all right, but I think every other stat is terrible. So I think reroll strength, because
Strength.
it's like
3d6. Ian, you rolling it? You're muted.
Oh, sorry, 3d6. Let's see. Let's see, 6.
Okay, I take it you're going to keep your 8 then?
6
Yeah.
or 3, 9.
Oh, he's rolling them one die at a time.
Oh,
right.
Oh no, that was 15.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
15. I don't know how you died with such brilliant dice rolls. +1. And you've got a luck of 12 as well, so you get plus, and that's a +1 as well. Okay, right. So does anyone want an epilogue? So we've got Campbell, who changed somewhat. Could be career, physical changes, age. Do you want to tell me how your life changes from this point onwards as you return back to wherever you were?
I think he is going to return to his original profession. I think actually he's going to be a lot less up and up on his in his merchanting. He's going to get into black market things. He's going to become much more cynical. He is quite the pessimist and feels that the world is just a chaotic place where random stuff happens to you, and he eschews law and order to just because you could just die at any time.
Nice. And who else we got? Sorry. Mold? Do you want to tell us how Mold's life changes?
Mold, he's never going to go back to be a gang farmer.
Mm-hmm.
He's becoming a mighty warrior. Now that he's a little stronger, he will train on sword and shield, keep his trusty slingshot.
Nice training montage on a cliff edge in a desert.
Yeah.
And the biggest change of all, then, Sydney, who we thought was lost to the void, is back.
What's it? Physical changes.
So yours are even like you're no longer a beggar. You could be like noble born or whatever.
I think she is. she switched places with
the shaman, right?
Yeah. So she's still sort of from a low background, but she got through it a bit better. You know, she wasn't disabled from a young age, having to go around in crutches, so she was much more capable, and got into the thieving gangs and
nice. Some sort of guild member.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, and sadly, Ian, and I'm very saddened to see that. Well, I thought Prune was going to make it, but
4 HP he had.
But in the nether realms, wandering deaths realms are your 4.
He's like Obi-Wan. His ghost is just watching everyone.
Yeah. There is a 3rd level DCC adventure where you can go to the realms of hell and retrieve one of your fallen comrades. So you can hope that will happen in our lengthy campaign.
There you go.
Which may or may not happen. And that is the end of the adventure.
It was wonderful.
Yay.